Hey, this is Wileen Benson, and you are on the Daily Gratitude Call, where we start every day in gratitude. Gratitude is the highest energy state that we can be in. It creates a frequency of positive vibration that attracts positive experiences into our lives. Hey everybody, this is Wileen Benson. This is our Daily Gratitude Call. I want to thank everybody for being on the call and also those who are joining us on the podcast. I'm excited to have all of you here and participating in this mastermind. If you are on the podcast, I do encourage you to participate fully. I know some podcasts you can listen while you're driving, and for part of this you might be able to, but at the very beginning we do a 90-second meditation, and I really encourage you to participate in that 90-second meditation and add your personal inspiration to what we get here on the call. That interactive, proactive, active participation is going to make all the difference for what you get out of this call. I was talking to somebody yesterday, kind of following up with her. She came to one of my daily GPS classes that I did this in November, and this was the first opportunity that we've had to get together and just kind of do a little follow-up call. I do a follow-up call. It's actually a 3-part series that I do here locally. So if any of you have not been to those classes, I'm going to be starting those up in January again if you'd like to participate. It's a 3-part series. There's a daily GPS class and then a vision board class and that I do a week later. So you have a chance to practice the daily GPS, and then we get together and get really solid on a goal that you want to set, and we find a solid why behind that goal. And it actually, the questions that I ask and the way that we do this goal setting, it's a goal that it's within your purpose. So it's really powerful. And then the follow-up call is what I call uncovering counterfeits in faith and abundance, because after you have your goal and you know how to break through your limiting beliefs and giving yourself permission to choose new beliefs through the permission process, doing your daily GPS, getting your inspired shortcuts and all of that, then a lot of times we have blind spots that we don't even realize we're living so close to the truth, but it's really on the dark side of the truth. And that's one of my gifts, is being able to expose that so that you know what you're, where you're not living fully in alignment, or living in the truth, on faith and abundance. Faith and abundance are the 2 first gateways in my book, the 7 gateways, your map to integrity in life and business. And if you can get faith down and you can get abundance down, the others really fall into place. But if you're living on the counterfeit side of either of those, then you can only see the counterfeit of the following 5 gateways. So, well, actually, if you're in the counterfeit side of faith, which most people are, you can't see the truth of abundance. You can't even open your arms and embrace abundance. So anyway, the long explanation of what this call was that we were doing yesterday with one of my participants from the daily GPS class, and actually she had done the vision board class too, and so this was like part 3 for her. And the GPS class, she had to leave a little bit early, and so she didn't see the full 7 steps, and she left thinking that she had all the information. And then when we got together on the call yesterday, I asked her how her daily GPS was going, and she's like, well, I've implemented a couple of the steps into my regular routine, and, it's good, but I think my, routine is probably just as good or whatever. And I said, well, have you done this and this and this and this? And did you do them all together? And she's like, well, no, I thought that if I just did 1 or 2, it would be good enough. And I'm like, no. 3 days. Do all 7 steps for 3 days, and you will feel an amazing difference. In fact, this is turning into like an advertisement, a testimonial for the daily GPS, but I want to read to you a text that I received from one of the ladies who was at that same class that she attended, and I shared this with her because she knew the person, because she had been at the same class, and she sent this to me it was 5 days after she had attended the GPS and the Vision Board class. And she said, "Oh, Wileen, I don't even know where to begin. A thank you just doesn't seem to be enough. You truly are so inspired. Thank you for living in constant download and for being willing to share all of the goodness. You have truly changed my life. I am so grateful every day that I was guided to work with you and keep in touch with you. You are a true disciple of Jesus Christ, showing such love and compassion to others. I have needed the Spirit so much in my life, and my morning GPS is now even more spiritual than ever. I truly do feel like I can make my home a spiritual safe haven. Thank you for being in tune and living worthy to bless the lives of so many. Thank you for blessing me. I just love you." That was the text that I got about 5 days after she had attended the GPS class and the Vision Board class. And actually, I think we had done her Uncovering Counterfeits class too. And so if you've been half-hearted at any of those things, if you know about the daily GPS, if you've been half-hearted at it, I encourage you to be wholehearted at it. Do it for 2 or 3 days in a row and see what the difference is. I could share text after text after text that I get from people when they are fully engaged in this process. So, and our subject today, I'm going to find out who just joined us in just a moment. Our subject today is gratitude for service. When we were doing our rounds of gratitude, several words came up that really applied to service: civil servants, free services, small acts of service. A brother who is giving service to somebody on our call because they had injuries from a scooter accident. He called him a lifesaver. That's a service. And the daily GPS class, Vision Board class, this Uncovering Counterfeits, this 3-part series, this is free. I offer this free as a service to my neighbors, to anybody that lives close, or if you're traveling and you happen to be in Utah, come to one of my classes, and this gratitude call is a service that I provide. And seriously, if you participate in all of those, if you know about your daily GPS and you do it on a daily basis, if you come to the gratitude call or listen to the podcast and do your vision board the way that I teach you, you have everything that you need. And uncovering those counterfeits, because sometimes we have blind spots that we don't realize are there. So if you'll work with me on these services that I provide, and the book, oh my gosh, right now it's $10 on my website. So there's so much available for free, and these are services that I provide because I want you to have the same tools that I have to be able to live the life that I want and find my purpose and really live true to that. And I offer those freely to you because everybody should have that. Everybody should have all the tools that they need. It's just, freely available. Okay, we are going to shift into our gratitude call. If you have any questions about any of that, you can either go to my website, WileenBenson.com, and contact me through email there, or you can schedule a 15-minute call with me, just a free call, 15 minutes. You just have to go to AskWileen.com, and it'll take you right to my calendar, and you can schedule a 15-minute call to talk with me a little bit more about anything that I've mentioned. All right. So I've done all my advertising. Hadn't planned on any of that, but I want you to know the services that I do provide. So we're going to have our 90-second meditation and gratitude for service. I think I'm just going to check in and see if it's service or services. It's service. Okay. So gratitude for service, 90-second meditation, private, silent meditation, and just write down whatever comes to you. Begin. All right. The last little thought there. I'm really grateful for others that see the value in what I offer. It keeps me going. It's not that I'm motivated because other people need what I have to offer, but it is just more like a confirmation, I think. When people show up at my classes, when you guys show up live on the call, when I get text, saying what I provided was really beneficial, it's like, okay, I'm on the right track. This is my mission, my purpose. I would be doing it anyway, but there is like a confirmation of the way that I come across, the way that I'm giving, the way that I'm serving. Somebody mentioned to me yesterday, sent me a text, was asking a question about how do you know when it's when you're supposed to be paid for a service, and how do you know when it's supposed to be a free service? And I'm going to just say that there's always a payment. With the free services that I offer with my classes that I'm doing, that 3-part series, and also this gratitude call, first of all, for the gratitude call, there's mutual benefit. I love getting on this call. I'm uplifted just as much as you are. And so I wouldn't want to charge because we're all kind of on the same page. We're all on the same level. We're all learning from inspiration and from each other, edifying each other. So that's why that's free. The classes that I do require payment. I require you to come to my house. I require you to give of your time. And after I've given that information, when I follow up with that uncovering counterfeits, I require you to do something about it. When you know what your counterfeits are, you don't have the luxury to just sit back and live in counterfeit, because you know what it is. So I require you to do something about it. I won't do that call with you unless you're willing to commit to that. And then also, with the daily GPS, when I was talking to that lady yesterday, I'm like, no, do it the way it's supposed to be done for 3 days. So I'm requiring a little bit more than, just here's the information, do whatever you want with it. I do it because I want to facilitate change for you and transformation for you. Who else has something they'd like to share?
I like to share.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm thinking about Jesus when he said about the greatest will be servant of all, and so that came to mind first of all. And then my reaction to that was maybe like, it's like either I don't feel worthy of being served, or I just feel the opposite, like that it's a demeaning thing to be a servant. And yet, when I hear the Lord say, that to be a servant is to be really, a very valuable sort of process or a very valuable, I can't quite grab the word for it, but it's like when I mentioned about civil servants, like they provide such valuable service. And for the Lord to hold service and that high esteem, makes me think that, like I had it backwards. It is a privilege to be a servant. Thank you.
Beautiful, thank you. I think we all do get into those counterfeits and really misunderstanding being the servant and also being the person that's served, not feeling worthy to be served, but also feeling demeaning to be servant. Yeah, definitely we've got it both backwards. It's just as necessary, and we all get into a position where we need to be served, and to put ourselves above that would be very prideful and not being the lowest of all, to be elevated to the servant position. That was. We could talk all day about that. I could say more, but I'm going to stop right there. Thanks, Daniel. Who else?
I thought about Michael.
Hey, Michael.
I was thinking about people I serve, but then I thought about the things that serve me. When I walk into the room, I hit the light switch serves me. It puts electricity up to the lights. And they serve me by turning on and creating a light in a dark room. And my automobile serves me, and I want to be somewhere at a certain time, and I go outside and I turn the key and it starts, and it takes me to the place I need to go. And my clothes serve me to keep me warm. My boots serve me to keep me dry when I'm walking through ice and snow and water. The things that I have around me serve me. And then I thought about the people that designed them, and they put these ideas and thoughts into a reality that can serve so many other people. Just like a book serves other people because it helps them to think in different directions. And so as I build a home for someone, as I remodel a home, I'm serving those people, but I'm serving them with items, obstacles, or tools that other people have designed and built so that they could serve. And so I'm actually serving with sharing the service of others many times. And you can't do it alone. And it's amazing how many things are available to help us make life easier and serve for others. Just like this phone, it's serving me by being a part of this group and the conversation. It serves me and teaching me because I can pull up a YouTube video and listen to things and watch how things are done. So service is all around us. It's awesome.
Well, we're just part of the cycle of service, aren't we? There's tools that are created for us to be able to use to serve other people. The thought came to me, does this serve me? I mean, this really adds a whole new dimension to what Daniel was saying about whether I'm being served or if I'm a servant. I'm really both, and I'm just part of this big circle. And the thought that came to me, does this serve me? I'm always constantly asking that. Does this serve me to have this pile of papers here? Does this serve me to have this limiting belief? Does this serve me to eat this food? I'm constantly asking that question, and so I am being served. If I ask that question, then basically I'm putting myself in the position of being served and receiving. And man, this just puts a whole new light on service. I think we indoctrinate that word service into like a servant has to sacrifice or something, but a servant can be a car. A servant could be an article of clothing. A servant could be a desk. A servant could be the mailman. I mean, it's, wow. It just a whole new, this is a pattern interrupt for me. Thank you. Who else wanted to share?
I was just going to say.
Okay, Mary and then Rachel.
I'm grateful that service has taught me to let others in my life, because and it's taught me to serve. So I love serving, whether it's a small act of kindness. I started out years ago coming out of my shell just by making eye contact with someone, and that in itself, making eye contact with someone who does, not a lot of people do that. And at that time I noticed, and then I would smile and then, maybe say hi. But those are little acts of service in my eyes. And I'm super grateful for that, because service benefits both people, and it benefited me, and it certainly made a difference and makes a difference in the other person when we're opening a door for someone or whatever it might be. But just a little acts of service make a difference as well. So.
Thank you. I wrote seeing others and seeing myself. If I'm able to serve, that means I know that there's something that I have to give. I have to know myself to know how I best get to serve, and maybe it is eye contact, because you're right. When we walk through a store, or whatever, it's rare that people will make eye contact. They're just kind of in their own business, and I don't know what it is. It's not like that everywhere. I have traveled places where, and in Georgia, where I'm from, the Southern hospitality still exists, and there's a lot more eye contact than where I live here in Utah. I don't know what it is, but we can definitely make a change by doing it ourselves. And I agree.
I want to mention, yeah, for sure. I want to mention one other thing that I was thinking of, was that when I'm in a store, I'll just, if I feel impressed to say hi to the produce guy or whoever, I will. And my son said, "Why did you do that? Just because?" I said, "Yeah, just because." Yeah. He's passed by people all day long who says hi to him.
And following those impressions is really important. You never know how you're going to brighten someone's day. Thank you. Rachel.
I was thinking that when others serve me, it softens my heart. When I receive that service, it's the way of softening my heart and making it more open to see God's hand in my life. And I realized that that's the way God shows me He is present with me, is the daily acts of service I see others give me. And it just lets me know that it's a way of Him showing me that He takes care of me and provides my every need, like the scriptures say. And I think it's that abundance, letting it flow between us. And that's what
beautiful. I love that. That, again, just as Nuda mentioned, to being served, that it's, and I agree that when someone serves me, that it's God working through that person to show me that He cares about me, that I'm counted among His children, and that He's aware of my needs. So thank you. And it makes me it softens my heart too, and it really makes me want to be open to more service from others. Thank you. I know there's probably more that could be shared. I encourage you to go to the Facebook group, Breakthrough with Gratitude, and share your thoughts there about service, what you've received. If you're listening on the podcast, we'd love to have you join that group if you're not already, and share your thoughts there as well. Let's go ahead and shift over to our permission process. I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath. I invite us all to take a deep breath. And this will probably be a shorter process today because we are at the end of our time and we won't be able to share. But I want to make sure that we have this time to get our inspired shortcut and to break through any limiting beliefs, give ourselves permission to choose into some new beliefs if they're there. So I'll go ahead and take one more deep breath. And just sitting in this energy of service and new understanding about how we get to be served, how we desire to be served, feeling God's love through service to us, and also feeling the importance of being the servant, of connecting with others, seeing them, allowing them to see us, seeing ourselves, and knowing what the best way is for us to serve. Just take a moment and just sit in that energy of service. And the first question I have for you is, what is the one most important thing that you could do today to serve? And as you're getting clear with what your inspired shortcut is to be fully in this space and energy of service, what is the limiting belief coming up for you? The limiting belief that might stop you from taking action on that inspired shortcut, or a limiting belief about service itself, about being served or about you serving or not knowing how to serve, whatever it is. What is your limiting belief about service? And with that limiting belief comes a cost. If you hold on to that limiting belief, what is the outcome going to be? What will the law of attraction must bring you if you keep this limiting belief? And if you don't like that outcome, then you get to give yourself permission to choose a new belief. If you're ready to do that, to give yourself permission to choose a new belief, say yes.
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 Awesome. So go ahead and choose some new beliefs. Let's get 3 new beliefs to replace that old limiting belief. Go ahead and write those down. And once you have your new beliefs, I invite you to look over those new beliefs and really feel the energy around these words. Words are just writing, they're just chicken scratch on paper if they don't have meaning behind them. If you saw another language written on paper, it wouldn't mean anything to you. In language that you didn't understand. But these words, this is written in a language, the language of the heart. You've received these new beliefs, and you can feel and resonate with them, feel the resonance of truth within your heart of these new beliefs. I invite you to bring these new beliefs in and give them the power. Allow them to have the power that they are capable of having, the power of change, the power of transformation, the power to be the vehicle, to be your servant, to facilitate the change within you that allows you to take that next step to follow through with your inspired shortcut, to be the servant, and also to be willing and embrace being served. Allow these words to be your servant that facilitate the change within you. Just take those new beliefs in. And just feel the change within your heart and your mind, your soul, your spirit, your body. And this is the kind of energy that opens you to see others, to allow others into your space, to see yourself fully, to know the best way that you get to serve. And it gives you the courage and the power to step outside of whoever you used to be before, but step into a broader and more useful space of being the servant and also being willing to receive. I appreciate all of you being on the call today. I'm surprised at the emotion that this is bringing up for me, but excited for it as well. And encourage you all to take action on that inspired shortcut as soon as you get off the call, and carry this spirit of service with you the rest of the day, and to see who you get to serve and how you are served. And I encourage you to maybe write a little note in your journal after the day is over of how this call affected you and was able to make a change in the way that the day went for you. So I look forward to being together tomorrow, 7 a.m. Mountain Time. Thank you all for being on the call today. Love you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you too.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. And I encourage you to tune in every day to the Daily Gratitude Call. And the Daily Gratitude Call happens live every weekday morning. I'd love to have you join. So to find out how to join live, go to my website, WileenBenson.com. Thanks for tuning in.